Welcome everybody. Welcome to the 411 podcast. Hopefully everybody enjoyed their Halloween. Hopefully it was a nice, happy, safe Halloween. So believe it or not, we're here and it is November 1st. Crazy, crazy, crazy. But yes, we are in November. Welcome y'all. So we have fellow podcaster Mark Anderson coming in the building tonight. So, yeah, we here at 411 Podcast. Thank you so much to everybody out there. If you are on Facebook, if you are on Twitter, YouTube, D Live, or Twitch, drop it in the comments and let me know what's going on. So, song of the day is We Are Never Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift, released in 2012 off of her album, Red Album. So, I want to say sometimes you really need to be careful when you use that word never because you never really know what's going to happen. So, in a moment, I get it. You might say, hey, this is never going to happen, or I'm never going to be in this situation, or I'm never going to do that. But just be very, very, very careful with using that word never. And yeah, Taylor Swift, we are never getting back together. Something else, man. What's going on, SOS? Ella, what's going on? How are you? So many new people out there tonight. What is that? Dina D, what's going on? Where are you calling from? But yeah, be careful with using that word never because you never know what's going to happen. I think Brandy has an album called Never Say Never. Just be very careful with saying never because you never really know what's going to happen. If you are out there on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch, drop it in the comments. Let me know what's going on. Unfortunately, we will not be on TikTok until, I don't know, maybe like Thursday. We've been banned off of TikTok one more time. I mean, I played a video. Somebody, said a couple words that they didn't appreciate. So it is what it is. I didn't think it was that offensive at all. But apparently, they had a problem with what, this older woman was saying. So we're kicked off until about Thursday. But yes, Brandy, never say never. Like, just be very careful with using the word never, because when you use something like that so powerful, when things flip around and it gets twisted, and all of a sudden you start doing what you say you never was going to do, you could look a little foolish. I'm starting to understand this a little bit, and I'm starting to watch a lot of things that I say because you never really know what's going on or what's really going to happen anyway. So listen, the replay. I want y'all to watch the replay from a couple days ago with It's All in the Cars with Kathy and SOS. We were like on for about maybe almost 2 hours. I have no idea what was going on that night and the conversations that was happening. I was shocked. I was shocked with what the hell was coming out of my mouth. I was shocked with the responses from It's All in the Cars with Kathy. SOS, always a blast coming on. But if you want to laugh, talk about some foot fetishes and all kinds of other weird stuff we were talking about that night, go ahead and watch that replay. So what's up, SOS? Kathy, how you doing? Lakeisha and Abundance Moon. Fatima from X Threads, I want to say what's up to her as well. Tone, D&K Fashions, Sophie Davis, all the way from London. Thank you so much. R&B recording artist Donna Allen, Miss Rebel Jewel, Bethany Trent. She has a business called Fuck Being Fat. That's PHUCK being fat.com. Again, that is PHUCK being fat.com. Y'all go ahead and support her. And also musician Ian West. Thank you for the love and support. You said all good. What was all good? What's going on right now, or the conversation that we had the other night? So, also, in the question that we had, burning questions from a couple nights ago, the question that I had, as we were talking about Halloween and stuff, but are there any grown ass adults out there that are afraid of the dark? You being as grown as you are, as big as you are, and as much of an adult as you are you afraid of the dark? Do you know somebody who is afraid of the dark? I will tell you that a lot of the responses, Sophie Davis said she's not a fan of the dark. I think it's all in the cars with Kathy said that she's really not a fan of the dark, which I can understand why, because you actually call on a lot of stuff. So if I were you, I'd be afraid too. But you call a lot of stuff into your life. But so that's two people so far. Um, what Danny Lopez from Facebook, he says that he does believe in ghosts and that he's afraid of the dark as well. And of course, me, listen, I put lights on everywhere I go. I try to stay far away from the dark. I've watched too many scary movies in the past, so for me being a grown ass adult, I would say yes. I don't play with the dark at all. Not at all. So we have Mr. Mark Anderson coming in tonight. Hopefully everything goes well. There's no issues, no drama with the audio setup tonight, but everything should be good tonight. So let's check out and see what Mr. Mark Anderson has to say. What's going on, SOS?
Hey.
How are you? Welcome to the
good.
411. So we have.
Thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I was just talking to everybody. As you know, we're just coming off of Halloween, and one of the questions that I asked the other night: are there any grown ass adults out there who are still afraid of the dark? So, are you afraid of the dark?
I am not. I actually would prefer it to be dark.
Ooh, yeah, not me. I will tell you, I've watched too many scary movies in the past that I stay far away from darkness as much as possible. Yeah. So, Mr. Mark Anderson, where are you calling from?
Arizona.
Ooh, that's cool. What part of Arizona?
I'm in the Phoenix metro area. City life in the suburbs.
Okay, all right. I think that I'm going to be planning a trip pretty soon, probably in maybe about a month or two. So I'll be in Arizona, long as everything works out well.
It's beautiful, especially this time of year. So come and enjoy it.
I've heard that. So, December, January is still going to be nice.
Yeah, it'll get cooler, overnight, but during the day it's gonna be beautiful.
Lots of things to do. I'm probably thinking about Scottsdale area.
Yeah, that's a nice area. That's where all the high end stuff is. So, yeah.
Interesting. All right, very good. So, I'm calling from the wonderful world of New Jersey. Have you ever been to Jersey before? New York, Philly?
Yeah. When I used to do a 9 to 5, I worked for a company who paid to train me out in New Jersey, New York. specifically Jersey City.
Yeah.
I had to commute between there and Manhattan
Yeah.
for about a month. I would say probably like a decade ago.
And that's when you basically said, F it, I quit. I'm done with this. Let me move to Arizona. I can't put up with it.
Well, no, I was actually already here in Arizona. They paid me to come from Arizona to go there just to train.
Oh, okay. I have a weird it's weird sense of humor. I don't know. I can't even describe it, but so
you're not the only one.
So you have a podcast, and you have fellow podcasters that are, along the team with you. So would you like to explain what your podcast is? Some of your, I guess it's co-hosts, right?
Yeah, so I'm just down to one co-host now. He's also my partner in crime when it comes to other adventures that we're dabbling in.
Mm-hmm.
But the podcast is Amigos PC, and just like the name says, friends. And it's just me and my buddy. We're exploring the metaverse. We may need to change that now that Facebook has kind of taken that ownership, but we're exploring the metaverse of comedy, cinema, and crypto. The podcast itself is for that enthusiast that loves comedy.
Mm-hmm.
We get to know our comedians that come on very well. We interact with them constantly on social media and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We interview actors from different aspects of, and more than just actors, actually, anybody really in the film and TV industry. Directors, producers, all that fun stuff. Because sometimes they're all one and the same. Like the person that starred in it, produced it, wrote it, and it's their baby. They're trying to get lifted up off the ground. We get to know them in depth. And then also, like I was saying earlier, my partner in crime, my co-host, we have recently got into, about a year ago, we started at-home crypto mining. So we were mining cryptocurrencies. We have recently just expanded that to, we have now joined another YouTuber in the crypto space, and we've launched a full-blown mine. And basically, we are renting out a warehouse, and we have miners littered all over this warehouse, and having them mine away and helping other people expand their mining as well.
Wow. Someone sent me something today, and I'm just making this up because I don't remember the numbers or anything. But they, put a small transaction and of, maybe a couple hundred to $1,000. And they said within hours, they have like $10,000. Does that sound accurate to you?
It can happen. There are tokens that are out there that you have that availability. It's not plausible, but it's also not likely. So they probably picked the right horse, and that horse was doing very well that day.
Now, go ahead.
It's similar to the stock market when you're actually buying crypto and using your funds to buy it. So you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. The volatility of cryptocurrency right now is when there are good days, there are great days. When there are not so good days, they are awful days. So it's just a little bit of both. So you can experience both sides of that coin. Luckily, that person they had a really good day that day.
So you look at it every day. This is something that you have your eye on every day.
Yeah, because we're doing what we call a dollar cost averaging with our mining, and so we have electricity, power, internet. We have bills to pay for the amount of mining that we do, and we need to pull funds out to make sure that we're always taking some form of profit some way.
Now, I'm not one that's shy about saying, what the hell is that? I say that to myself, and I ask a lot of questions because before, someone would say something foreign to me and I just go with it. And then I get in my quiet time and be like, what the hell just happened? Like, you should have spoke up and said something. So I noticed that you're using the terminology of mining. So can you explain that to me a little bit?
Well, it's not in the same terminology as what we have known as mining for, centuries.
Because
Someone with a pickaxe or a shovel and they're like digging in the ground. It's not that kind of mining.
Yeah, because my mind went there. I was like, nah, that's not what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So mining in the traditional sense is not what we're doing, but they have just basically tokened this phrase since mining cryptocurrency has been a thing. And basically what we are doing is we're either building specialized computers through GPUs, graphics processing units, or specific machines that are called ASIC machines, and they're basically just integrated computers that are solely meant to do one thing, and that's just to mine crypto. They can't do other things. We've taken those and we basically have accumulated quite a bit of them, and they're doing the work for us. They're doing calculated math problems in some cases, or they're broadcasting, trying to create a decentralized internet, or a lot of different things, and a lot of different ways. In one way, shape, form, we are accumulating it through a type of computer that's doing the work for us.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of information there to take all in. I haven't touched it at all yet. I thought about it. I have some things set up where I could start to get into it, but I haven't really done anything yet. I don't know. Maybe eventually I'll get right on into it.
With someone that's like new to it, the best place you can start off is a centralized exchange, and that would be like Coinbase, or Crypto.com. The good thing with Coinbase is very user friendly for someone that's new, and they also pay you to learn about crypto. So there are some courses inside the app to where they'll actually give you certain cryptocurrencies for just learning about that particular cryptocurrency. And that could be a good place for people to start. I'm not trying to really shill or promote Coinbase or Crypto.com, but these are very user-friendly avenues. I think if someone is kind of thinking about it and they want to put their water in, or put their feet in the water, but they don't want to actually expel funds to do that, like I said, Coinbase or Crypto.com are two perfect places to do that.
Well, you got my attention. You said someone's going to pay you to learn something. Definitely got my attention.
Now, don't get me wrong, it is not a lot, but it's a start.
It's to get you started, and I get you, and give you that incentive to, invest. I get you. Makes sense. So I want to rewind a little bit. Talking about your podcast, you said you needed to change the name or something. You said meta something.
So the way that I don't want to call it like a pitch, but when you look us up on the internet, you go and check our socials or our website or something like that. It basically says, two friends exploring the metaverse of comedy, cinema, and crypto. In light of recent events, the king of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, decided to coin and take Meta from the people. We might have to change that up a little bit. Or something.
Oh, so basically now that's changed, no matter, even if you've had it before, you have to come to grips and realize that it's going to be ripped and take away from you?
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, if he was able to trademark metaverse, which I don't think he can really, yes, we would have to indefinitely. But I don't know. Neither myself or my co-hosts are a fan of Facebook, or do we utilize it in a real fashion of any sort. We both have profiles on there, but we both have since deleted the app, and we just don't use it. It just wouldn't make sense for us to maintain metaverse when it comes to utilizing or being in association with Facebook. Not to say we're associated with Facebook in any means, but having the name itself, them changing it to Meta, that's just two and two would go together.
I think it's so funny. It reminds me of like when an artist who's been out for a long time, all of a sudden decides to change their name. Like, for example, when Prince changed his name to the Symbol, do you think that people really walked around calling him Symbol or whatever, or the artist formerly known as Prince? They were like, no, it's just Prince. And to the point where he actually went back to just being called Prince. So to change the name, something like Facebook, to change it to Meta, I think is the most ridiculous thing that I've heard of in a very long time. And I saw something funny, Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. I don't know if you've ever remember what was going on, but they had this scene where they were doing hunting season or something, and they were ripping the signs off of, the pole, and one was saying duck season, rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Were you a fan of that? So that was so fun. I used to love that as a kid. Duck season, rabbit season, duck season. Then they twist it up and, they say the opposite. But I saw something on Facebook where they were ripping it off saying Facebook, Meta, Facebook, Meta. And then towards the end, they ripped it off and one said both of them are garbage, or it's still garbage, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny. But I think it's kind of ridiculous for them to change their name. I think that's...
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, it's what would have happened with all of the aged crowd, the older crowd, like that, they're all used to Facebook. You change something on them, they won't ever pick up the app again. And I'm sure that that's most of Facebook's database at this point.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I have teenagers and they don't even touch Facebook. They want nothing to do with it. I asked them, I said, do you have a Facebook account? And they said, no, that's for older people.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was pretty funny. It's true. Everybody has a Facebook account. So do you think that they're actually really going to change the name, or it's just something to spark things up?
No, honestly, I don't think they're going to change their name itself, but I think it'll be a parent company to everything else. Similar to like Amazon is to, Amazon Prime, Amazon Video, Amazon, maybe eventually it changes its name to something, but I think that it will start as Meta, as the parent company of all of these apps. And because how long ago did they buy Instagram, and how long ago did they buy WhatsApp? And they still, those apps function in the same, I don't know about the same manner, but same name. They haven't changed any real branding or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So now your podcast, you talk some comedy. So what do we have in store when it comes to comedy from your end? Because I like to laugh. I like to have a good time.
Yeah, we definitely joke around with comedians that we have on the podcast constantly, especially new and upcoming comics. A lot of our initial content that we are doing it has been locally based in Phoenix, but now we've expanded more to traveling comics. We recently just had a traveling comic, Stephen Briggs, on. We are going to have Susie Sitcom on again. These are LA comics that travel regularly. We joke around with them. We have a good time, but we also do get on some serious topics because we do our research on our guests. So you get a little bit of both worlds when it comes to having a comedian on. Like they'll try to be their best to do what they do best, which is be funny. But then also we try to drive into something more personal, something that is could be serious in nature at some point. Just different things. We've had people tell us about the reason that they moved to LA to start their career, and it ended up being that they had to leave and divorce their husband. We've had people, that one comedian had brought a taser out onto the show, which is crazy. And there's just a lot of different things that have happened with having our comedians on.
Brought a taser out. That sounds like that didn't end well, did it?
No, it was fun. It was fine.
Oh.
Nothing too crazy happened, but it's the fact that it was in the vicinity was a little crazy.
Interesting. So where can we find your podcast at?
So we're on all podcast
Wherever you find your podcasts, right?
Yeah, wherever you find the normal podcast. I always would recommend that you go to our website, which is amigospc.net, all spelled one word. You can find everything there. Every avenue that we're at is right on our website.
Now, how long have you been doing this?
So this month actually marks our 3rd year of doing our podcast.
Wow. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What made you get started?
So it's just a couple friends just hanging out in the backyard. None of us have actually even heard of a we've heard of podcasting, but we actually never listened to a podcast. And the most we knew is that Joe Rogan recorded for 3 hours with his guests. Drinking, having conversation, and one of us just said, you know what, this would be funny if we just recorded it and let other people listen to our conversation. And that then turned into having guests on and into the shape and form that it is today.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome. So how many shows do you have per season, or do you not even get into that? Some people do.
We don't do seasons. We just basically record each episode as we go. We're right now close to 150 or so.
Wow. Very nice. Very nice. So what is what's new? What's next?
For the podcast or for just myself or everything in general?
In general, whatever you want to share with us.
Okay. Well, the podcast, we're gonna keep going. We have a vision, a fence that we're staying in with comedy, cinema, and crypto. We are fully booked throughout the rest of the year when it comes to guests. So it's just constantly busy when it comes to the actual podcast. We're going to be appearing more on other shows as well, as we're getting shows like yourself and things like that reaching out and asking us to come on and kind of go into our story a little bit. On our YouTube channel, you'll start seeing more crypto content. It's already started to pull up more as we're dropping more episodes and dropping more content in general. And we are documenting our entire journey when it comes to what we've done in crypto. So there's going to be a lot of information there as to, how we started with just one rig on a computer mining program to now the warehouse in itself, in its entirety, all of the equipment that's in there, and its ever expanding adventure.
All right. Now I'm going to throw some little controversy in here. I heard this, which is probably should not say this because it's not accurate. Someone else's opinion or thought, but someone told me that, of course, we're all going to move to cryptocurrency in the future. Who knows when? It's not like it's going to be tomorrow, but basically it's going to be leveled out to every single person so that majority of people have a fair share and they all are going to walk away with the same amount because it's going to be leveled off. Do you believe that?
I would have a hard time wrapping my head around that theory. The main reason being is one, cryptocurrency would have to prevail. And cryptocurrencies necessarily aren't cryptocurrencies. They're just being held under a bubble that is the crypto arena. So it's really difficult for me to say, everybody's going to get their, 1,000 Bitcoin and that's it. Like You use that, you're done, but now everybody's got a free level playing field. Capitalism, one, I don't think will let that happen. But in another avenue, there's more than just Bitcoin out there. There's so many other different type of cryptocurrencies and projects that it would be hard to fathom everybody getting an equal share of everything. Now,
like,
is it? Go ahead.
So, for example, there might be, you just like what we have now. You got the very wealthy, you got the middle class, and then you got the, people. I'm use different terminology who are in need. So
yeah,
it's probably, the person was telling me that it's probably going to be tiers like that as well. So if you fall into the bracket of being super wealthy, you're going to be amongst all of your peers as far as what your value is. And then, so forth and so on. So it's going to be tiers. So not that everybody's going to have the same amount of money and to be leveled off that way, but you will average off according to your peers, if that makes sense.
I mean, that could happen. I mean, the whole tier society itself is something that's just already ingrained and ingrained in culture, with where you're growing up.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to get out of it is to remove yourself from the situation. No one's going to give you anything.
I like that.
Take
responsibility for yourself and remove yourself from the situation. I like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then one thing I was going to say, coming on to you talking about, everybody getting their fair share of cryptocurrency and things like that. If you were to get into cryptocurrency,
mm-hmm.
I mean, we're still on the ground level. This isn't, it may be a decade old, but that's literally, it's 10 years old. So it's not like we've been doing this for centuries and,
mm-hmm.
Things have worked out. The dollar is barely 100 years old and we're now gravitating away from it. So it's just one of those things. If you want to make a difference in your own life and you want to do something that could, remove you from a certain situation or a tiered bracket, it's the wild, wild west in crypto. And, it's just basically at your doorstep. All you have to do is make a move.
I hear you. I definitely hear you on it. And it's definitely something that I'm going to be looking into. I was thinking about it for this year, but I decided to, go in a different direction. But yeah, I'm at a point now where, I want my money to work for me while I'm sleeping. So
yeah, exactly.
I'm no longer going to be loyal to one specific situation because, even just like social media, what we got going on here now, I was always told by somebody, yeah, be very careful with being loyal to just one platform or one network because something's bound to fall and crash one day. And then what do you do when you put all your eggs in one basket? So what goes up must come down. So
yeah, but in our line of business, entertainment for the most part, you have to be on everything.
Yeah,
we've chosen to selectively be away from Facebook, but we're still entwined with it some way. Episodes get dropped onto Facebook somehow because of integrations with Instagram and other things. And that's the thing too. Facebook owns Instagram, and we're on Instagram heavily, just because that's where our following has been built. So we're just.
I started off with Instagram, but because Instagram and Facebook are so intertwined, I decided to do Facebook as well. But it definitely was not one of my first choices at all.
Yeah.
And there's another one out there that I really could care less for, but I'm not going to say it. It's just not. It's a very difficult app, and it's been around for a while. I just don't get the concept. Not quite sure who uses it, whether it's old people, young people. The whole thing is just damn hell confusing to me. But what are you going to do? I'm sure you can figure out which one that is. A lot of people complain about this one. All right, so we got time for a burning question, and then I'll let you go ahead and let everyone know where they can find you at on some of your other social media platforms, and any last words that you like to go ahead and share with us. But
Okay.
this is a segment of the show where basically I flip it and I put my guests in the hot seat. But we're feeling a little mellow tonight, so we won't be burning anything up too much tonight. But um, you inspired me, especially by speaking about cryptocurrency. Honestly, when you first came on, I thought we were going to do more to comedic route, but it is what it is. But you definitely inspired me. Um, to get motivated to, get into this a little bit more. I already had plans to do it, but now you got my mind thinking a little bit more. So, what do you have to say to the people out there? And I'm sure you know some, and I'm sure people out there watching a replay, you have come across these people who always say that they want to do this, they want to do that, and they have this great plan and they're all about it so much, and they feel so passionate about it so much that they don't end up doing a damn thing. So, what do you have to say to that person that's always saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I can't wait for this, I can't wait for that, and nothing ever happens?
You can't wait. You just got to do it. If you're going to set your mind to something and actually doing it, you got to put the first foot forward, and you just got to do it.
Now, see, I like your response. I really do like your response because you were very nice, you were very respectful, trying to encourage people. Now, my response is a little bit different. My response is for the people who are constantly saying that they want to do something and we're going to go here, we're going to take this vacation, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And someone always has something to say. And there's always the loudmouth MFer that always has something to say and end up not doing a damn thing. So what I have to say to those people out there who are constantly doing this, and if you know someone in your circle or whatever, one thing that I want to say is shut the fuck up because you're not doing a damn thing. You know damn well you're not going to do a damn thing. Now, I know that that's not right. After you just gave this wonderful, inspirational, motivational type thing. But come on now, there's some people out there that that are constantly running their mouths and are not motivated to get anything done at all. So for that, from my response,
you're right. And if someone is like that in your life, you need to move away from that.
There you go. There you go. So you found a way to wrap it up for us tonight, and that is absolutely it. And if you continue to believe in these people, stay around these people, and go along with their crazy plan that's not even anything, because it's not even a plan, because nothing's even moving, you're going to stay exactly just right where you are, stuck in a quicksand mode, spinning your wheels left and right, because I'm just going to leave it at that, and we're just going to move on with that. But thank you so much for your insight, and I learned a lot tonight. And you want to go ahead and let the people know what those two websites were for people who really want to get into this investing thing?
Well, always, if you want to learn a little bit more, we have definitely a lot of content that is very relatable to someone that's new. We don't go into a lot of the terminology of crypto in itself. We try to dumb it down to where we can actually understand it. Not to say that we're dumbing it down at all, but we're conveying it. You can always check that out on our website at amigospc.net. But if you are looking to take a step into it, the most user-friendly and convenient way to do that is apps like Coinbase or Crypto.com.
Very good, very good. And your podcast name, where we can find
Amigos PC. Amigos PC, you can find us anywhere on any of the podcatcher apps. We're on Spotify, iTunes, every single one. Again, head over to our website. You'll be able to see everything that we have when it comes to our show. Amigospc.net.
And now, when we're finding you on Instagram? I know it's Amigos PC, but is it the same for all your other social media platforms?
Yeah, across the board, every single, you can find us everywhere at Amigos PC, all one word, no spaces.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. I love the collaboration that we were able to do tonight. You know, not a lot of people who have podcasts they can come together, which I'm starting to learn. Um, it's very interesting. That was one of the biggest things that I had to do was say, okay, now it's time for you to branch out and reach out to your fellow podcasters and network a little bit. But I will tell you that when you get invited to go on someone else's podcast, boy, does the truth really come out about who these people really are. And I like it because I actually probably want to invite more podcasters because then I can really separate the fake ones from the real ones. And a lot of games are played after or right before it's time for them to come on to your podcast. But I will say that you definitely are 100%.
I appreciate that. Yeah, the podcasting it's crazy.
Here's the thing. I can't wake up tomorrow and say that I'm going to be Laren Gaines, Amigos PC, and I'm going to get into cryptocurrency and start talking about, the things that you talk about. Some people get so afraid, and when they're so afraid, that means that they really haven't perfected their craft or understand what their gift really is. Because I know full well that what I do here, nobody can duplicate this, and I'm actually at a point in my life now where I'm actually confident in this, and I see it. I see what people do, but you're never going to be able to do it the way that I do it. Just like no one ever is going to be able to do it the way you do it. So
Yeah, and that's one thing too. Like the people that are in podcasting, the first few hundred episodes may not be your voice, but eventually you'll find it.
Oh, isn't that the truth? I'll tell you that. I will tell you that. Sometimes I don't even want to go back and look at some of the old ones. I'm like, oh, what the hell was I doing? But I thank everybody for rocking with me and understanding. But yeah, it's interesting. But the only thing I could do is just pray for the people who don't have it together and try to do some wicked, malicious things out there because it's out there. So I know you said you're going to be networking and doing a couple different things, but you've been doing this longer than I have. I don't have to tell you anything.
Yeah, just keep networking with people. You'll find your crew. You'll find your drive. You'll find people who will uplift you, and you'll do the same for them too. You'll find that group of people that you like.
Absolutely. I mean, I cannot say enough. Just the conversation that we had today was so inspirational, and I'm sure that the people, from the 411 who listen to this, somebody's going to walk away with something tonight. So thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Take care.
You too.
Wow. I want to tell y'all what a great, great, great conversation tonight. Thank you so much, SOS. What a great, great show tonight. I had no idea that it would even go in the direction that it did. Um, I'm so thankful for all of my guests. I'm so thankful for all of my listeners that come on each and every night as well. People who watch the replay, I definitely want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Very special shout out to Sophie Davis, who you rock with me all the time. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. Really just speechless sometimes, but thank you. Now, what's going on, Mobraz? What's going on? Definitely got to get you to come on the show one day as well. So it's at the point now where it's time to go ahead and dust this off again here. So this is my book, My Inspirations, Volume 1, Deliberation. So this book is filled with quotes, scriptures, themes, you know, questions to get your mind going in different directions. So I just want to share a little bit with y'all tonight. So it's time to get into this whole deliberation experience again. I released this book in 2020, and this book right here is the reason why I am right here doing the 411 podcast. I had no idea that this book here would be so powerful. This is my baby. Like, I was young, I would say that, and I know it's just a year ago, but I was young in this whole podcasting world. I was young into this whole trying to be a self-published author, and I learned so much along the way. So I definitely have to, keep my book like this. um, but it's a point where, I want to just dust this off and share this with y'all again. So we're getting ready to go on this whole deliberation experience. So if you want to go ahead and support the 411 podcast or Reading Between the Wines, go ahead and click that link above all of my social media platforms and go inside of My Inspirations, Volume 1, Deliberation. And if you want to get some healing, just like I did, by reading these quotes and scriptures over and over and over and over again, so that you can help program your mind and help become the master of your own mind and think and get in some silence and deliberate, go ahead and click that link above and go inside of My Inspirations Volume 1 Deliberation. This book here is $9.99 for the paperback, and you can also get the ebook version for $4.99. And when you purchase this book here, it will help support the 411 podcast and Reading Between the Wines. And I just want to say thank you all so much to every single person out there. Again, people on Facebook, what's up? Instagram family, thank you for holding me down. TikTok, we're going to come back soon. Got kicked off, but it's all right. I just got to know how to press pause when we start to have different kind of conversations. Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch. Special shout out to my D Live family. Thank you so much. But yeah, go get you some inspiration. You got people like, of course, this is dedicated to my daughters. And of course, the queen of hip hop soul, Miss Mary J. Blige, is littered all throughout this book here. So you're going to get my true inspiration, which is Mary J. Blige. You're going to get, that. So yes, My Inspirations Volume 1, Deliberation. Y'all go ahead and support that, please. And of course, I have to thank my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give y'all the 411 podcast one more time in life, because without him, none of this would be possible. And without each and every one of you out there supporting, I definitely will not be standing here still doing this the way that I'm doing it. So thank you so much. No, it's not available on Amazon platform. The only way that you can get this book is by clicking the link above and going inside the link on all of my social media platforms. So one thing that I have to say is, what are you going to choose? Are you going to choose love, or are you going to choose hate? And, coming right off of a great show like I had tonight with Mark here, I choose to love each and every person who comes on my podcast. I choose to love each and every person who comes in and decides to sit in, watch, and listen. I never go on anybody else's platform spewing any type of hate, saying any type of drama, heckling, jekyllin, doing whatever people do out there. So, or what are you going to do? Are you going to choose love, or are you going to choose hate? Are you going to uplift your brother? Are you going to uplift your sister? Are you going to speak some positive words into somebody? Or are you just going to go ahead and focus on the negative and try to bring down and tear down the next person? I know what I choose, and I know what God is, and God is love. So I choose love. And the question to you and each and every one of you out there is, what do you choose? Do you choose love, or do you choose hate? I choose love. Come on, everybody. Come love one another. And yeah, y'all go ahead and support My Inspirations Volume 1, Deliberation. Thank you so much. And on that note, I will see y'all tomorrow at 10 p.m. right here on the 411 podcast. Feels so good to be able to say that. And I can't wait to see y'all tomorrow. Take care, y'all. Have a good night. Good night, y'all. Good night.